Hey everyone, Angelo here. Welcome to another amazing video about how to revive or rebuild your faith in the gay world again. So today we're going to discuss certain aspects of gay consciousness, gay community that often is overlooked because we look at the more day-to-day crises of sexual compatibility, monogamy, commitment, family, children. We want all those wonderful things that straight people have, and for whatever reason we struggle to attain them. And I believe we struggle to attain them because we don't understand the gay world. And if we don't understand the gay world, we are lost. We are disoriented. We are confused. And I hope that you will receive that deeper understanding and that belief and faith in the gay world that we are all going towards. And that gay world that we're going towards is a different world. It's a better world. It's a much more beautiful place where our relationships do work, where our lives are different. They're better, more fulfilling, and happy. And I'm not sharing this with you as some kind of esoteric invitation to some panacea or some place that we will never attain. Just the opposite. I believe that as gay men, we will get there a lot faster than you think. I see that place on the horizon. And in this series of discussions, and in a series of discussions that will happen after this video, that I hope that you will see that this is a lot closer than we all think. So let's get to it, and let's open this discussion with something that is very important to talk about. And this has to do with the redemption of masculinity. Redemption of masculinity. Another way of saying it is completion of masculinity. We assume that heterosexuality has produced a man in its complete form. We assume that man, as it has been in the heterosexual circles over the past thousands of years, that a man like that is a finished product. But it occurred to me many years ago that the gay man is the carrier of the responsibility to finishing up the design of what it means and what it's like to be a man. That heterosexuality never completed that task of production of a complete man. So it's our job as gay men to complete that task of completing ourselves and understanding the idea that we carry with ourselves the heterosexual version of a man who is not complete, who does not have something that now we have to introduce into the equation, is going to open up the knowing that when we introduce that something, that magic and that world that a moment ago we talked about is going to happen a lot faster. And so this understanding is going to help you see that there is a job that we have to do. That as opposed to waiting and anticipating some kind of transformation and transcendence with all the things that we already have, that is not enough. Because we are not completed. Because we are copying from heterosexuals. We are copying and borrowing ideas from them, not realizing that we have to take the torch, take the light into a special place and discover something about masculinity that could never be produced in the heterosexual world, manifested and spread it into the collectivity of the gay world. That is the first understanding. The second understanding is to recognize that all of us, we were not born into a perfect world just like straight people were born. Gay world compared to the straight world is much darker place. And I don't say this in a negative way, I say this in a way that gives recognition of the extraordinary symbolism, philosophical introspection, and thousands of years of investigation the heterosexual world and the absence of that investigation in the gay world. So we are basically born in into an empty space where nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what we should be doing. Nobody knows where we should be heading. And so that's why when we're interacting with each other in the gay world, we see unusual ways of interacting. We hurt each other. We say the wrong things. We blame each other. We judge each other because we never entered into the world that taught us the gay flavor of things. The gay flavor of things. Sometimes when I look at gay men, I can't help myself but to think about gay men as aliens on planet Earth. That our lives are so vastly different that we underestimate the complexities inside of which we are operating on a day-to-day level. We don't have any support. We don't have any philosophical help in terms of symbols that help us align ourselves on a day-to-day basis. We don't have culture that we can bathe ourselves in that helps us connect our identity to a deeper meaning, to purpose. All of that is happening and has been happening for thousands of years in the heterosexual world. And so simply saying that the gay world is dysfunctional does not recognize the fact that it's not dysfunctional because it is dysfunctional. It is dysfunctional because we have not built the web of interconnectedness. We have not built the ideas that bring us closer together. And so until we build those ideas, that future world is unattainable. It's unattainable. But the good news is that gay men are extraordinary. And that when we look at the past 500 years or 1,000 years, we see extraordinary innovation that has originated in a gay man. And so on some level, we anticipate a return of that extraordinary innovation in the social space, also with technology, that takes the understandings that we have about the gay world and produces a solution that then is now brought back into our community and shared with everyone else. And because the world is interconnected today, I believe that that solution can produce a revolution within an extremely short amount of time that gives us hope, that gives us the belief, and that gives us the redemption of masculinity, gives us the redemption of the meaning of being gay, and fundamentally gives the redemption of the meaning of what it's like to be a man, that being a man is a good thing, that good thing come from that, as opposed to all the bad things that are happening in the world today because of people in power that are taking the mold of masculinity and twisting it in a way that does not produce transcendence and transformation for everyone else. And so on some level, when we say we believe in the gay world, we say we believe in the final completion of a man and taking that final completion and sharing it with the world and changing the world with it. So we talked about the psychological perspective or understanding that gay men enter into this world and there's just an empty space. There is no network of interconnected ideas, meanings, symbols that help us navigate in this gay space. And this is all happening in different countries at different times. It may have started earlier in America, but as you see at other countries like Japan, China, Africa, Latin America, they're just beginning their journey. So we know that some of us are way ahead, but others are way behind. And so it's the responsibility of us in the countries where we have succeeded to break through the homophobia and the discrimination to now take it further, to come up with these deeper levels of understanding and provide a solution and help these other countries from having to go through another 30 or 40 years of the same challenges that we have gone through in America, in the Western world. The final part of this discussion, which I believe you will enjoy very much, is the transformation that needs to happen for us to believe in the gay world again, to believe in masculinity and its redeeming power of transforming the world for the better. And so we want to look here at different frameworks that organize human beings on planet Earth. I'd like to share with you 3 notions that will help you see what's going on today, what needs to happen tomorrow, and as a result, how the new gay world will come about. So far, when we look at the gay community today, it's fair to say that we are governed by a certain ideology. The philosophy or the ideology that right now is dominating in the gay culture is the ideology of tribalism. Is the ideology that separates people into the very primitive parts about them. So in the gay world, we are divided and subdivided into so many groups. I've lost count of how many there are, but you see this everywhere. These are bears, these are leathermen, these are tops or bottoms. And so we have divided ourselves into groups based on a very primitive, very primal and reductionist ways of thinking. Now, when we look at these divisions and the criteria that produce these divisions, we can see that this is not a way to live life because they do not take into account all the complexity of human nature. They don't take into account the fact that we are emotional human beings, that we have a mind, that we have a spirit, that there's a lot complexity to us. Shame is a certain state of being that cuts away depth, that cuts away sophistication, that cuts away complexity. And so what remains is the very primitive. What remains is the very simple. And of course, in that space, nobody will have their needs met. We walk around without feeling loved. We walk around needing love, but resorting to primitive ways of getting it and never getting that love at the end. And then being angry about it. And as you can imagine, when we're angry, we project it onto each other. And that's where the judgment happens. That's when the miscommunication happens. That's why we produce that discomfort in our interactions. It's not internalized homophobia, as a lot of people say. It's simply anger because we are not getting what we need. So in the tribal ideologies that are exemplified in online apps such as Grindr, Scruff, Growler, Tinder, many others, even OkCupid, Match.com, and online dating that reduce us, that take away complex conversations and in-person interactions, we do not get our needs met. And I know almost 100% for sure that you don't get your needs met when you interact on those levels. You are angry about it. And then when you come together with other men, because that anger has to be expressed, you then project it onto them, and it's very difficult to connect. So in the gay world today, we have the primal or the tribal ideologies dominating the space. Nothing good can happen in that domain. And if we want to rebuild the faith in the gay world again, we have to transcend that. In a moment, I'll share with you what has to happen to transcend that. But first, we need to accept it, that this is where we are today. The second framework, or the second pattern of organizing life on Earth, is done by political ideologies. But as you've discovered last year, political ideologies also do an awful job of connecting. They separate us. Political ideologies, they may not regress us as much as the tribal ideologies of separating people into tops and bottoms, or leather people, bears, and twinks. But political ideologies almost do the same level of harm because they separate us and they produce anger towards one another. Who comes up with these political ideologies, you might ask? Well, we have the people that want power, people that want ownership, people that want control. They come up with a certain framework of organizing themselves and the world, and they force you or they trap you into believing that you have to follow their ideas, their principles, and use it to gain significance, use it somehow, and incorporate it into your identity. None of the political divisions have worked. Over the past history, you can look waves and waves of millions of people switching from one political ideology to another, then back to the first one, then again. Nothing good happens from political ideologies. Today, so many friendships have been destroyed. So many people have lost their activity partners and their friends because of political ideologies. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, these ideologies should be abandoned. These ideologies should be abandoned. And we need a new ideology. We need a new ideology that is not based on ownership, that is not based on control, that is not based on power. We need an ideology that is based on producing social innovation that gives people validation for their needs and expands on their true abilities, their true gifts, their true innate talents, and produces innovation in the marketplace that first meets our needs or their needs and then is transferred into the collective. Right now, everything out there is governed by political ideologies. Are you a Democrat or Republican? And nobody gets their needs met because on a fundamental level, human beings need each other. We need each other a lot more than we think we need each other. And when we are separated from each other, which is the goal of the people in power that want to control, that want to own properties and things and take things away from you, then we lose. It's a lose-lose game. It doesn't matter whether you're a Trump supporter, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, it's a lose-lose game. Years will go by and you'll be alone. Years will go by and you will not have your needs met. Almost the same way that inside of the tribal ideologies, whenever you're top or bottom, whenever you are a twink or a bear or a daddy, on deeper level, you are never ever happy. You are never ever content. You are never ever satisfied. So when we talk about the new gay world, in addition to the understandings that we shared with each other today, we want to look into a new ways of connecting with each other, a new ideology, a new big picture. And it's an ideology that's based on understanding our needs of collectivity, understanding our needs of unity and being together. Only when we have an ideology that creates this, we can have happiness. Only then you can be fulfilled, you can be secure, you can feel safe and feel loved. And then on top of that, we can build a framework of some kind of interconnectedness with the rest of the world and creating the infrastructure for innovation that maximizes our output of potential. But that potential can never be maximized whenever we are separated by political ideologies, whenever we are separated by the tribal ideologies. We need a new ideology. And this is the job of gay men. This is the job of the men that have taken the heterosexual design of a man and have incorporated something extra to it, something that was not there before. Now, I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's your job to find out what it is. It's a lot easier to find this out than you think, but you have to be open and you have to look inside. You have to look inside of you, because this part that heterosexual man never developed, for which reason we have these ideologies that don't work for human beings. Well, that part is something that has to arise from you. And only then you can rebuild faith in the new gay world. And this is a task that I'm inviting you to do. So let's rebuild faith in the gay world again. And with that, let's connect our lives to a deeper meaning and purpose of being a gay man. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. For more videos like these, please come to my website at paulangelo.com. Or if you want to transform your relationships immediately, if you want to meet men inside of a protected and special place, please visit the Big Gay Family Social Program website at biggayfamily.com. Thanks for watching. Until we talk in the next video, as always, my friends, go out there, think big, stay present, and be a leader in your life today. Signing off, talk to you soon.